Every day in Ireland, food moves through a long journey, from farms and factories to shops and finally into our own homes. Along this journey, a significant amount of food is never eaten and instead becomes waste. Some of this waste happens on a large industrial scale during food production and manufacturing, while some happens in ordinary places like shared student kitchens. What might seem like a small and routine loss are actually part of a much larger national pattern. This data story explores the scale of food waste in Ireland, where it comes from, and what the data tells us about how it might be reduced. In a shared student house, my college roommate, Emma, often buys groceries at the start of the week with good intentions. But busy schedules and changing plans mean that some of the food is forgotten in the fridge. And like Emma, all of us are victim to it. A carton of milk reaches its expiry date, vegetables go unused, and leftovers slowly get pushed to the back shelf. Eventually, some of this food is thrown away. On its own, this seems small and insignificant. But when similar situations happen across thousands of homes in Ireland, the impact becomes much larger than we expect. When we step back from Emma's kitchen and look at the national picture, the scale of the problem becomes clear. Each year, hundreds of thousands of tons of food are wasted across Ireland. The total has remained consistently high in recent years, showing that food waste is not decreasing despite growing environmental awareness. What makes this striking is that most of this waste begins with small everyday decisions, like buying too much food, cooking extra portions, or forgetting items in the fridge. Individually, these may seem insignificant, but together they form a persistent national pattern. It's easy to assume that food waste mainly comes from supermarkets or restaurants, but that's not the case. But a large scale actually share comes from ordinary households, whom like Emma's contribute a significant portion of Ireland's food waste each year. This includes uneaten groceries, spoiled produce, and leftovers that are never finished. Unlike industrial waste, household often happens unintentionally. It reflects busy lifestyle, poor planning, and changing routines rather than deliberate waste. This makes household one of the most important places where a change can happen. Looking beyond Ireland gives us a clearer perspective. Compared with European average, that is 132, each person in Ireland wastes more food every year, that is 162 kgs per person. This difference suggests that food waste is not just unavoidable, it is influenced by behavior and habits. Countries with lower levels of waste show that it is possible to reduce food waste through awareness and better planning. If everyday habits changed even slightly, Ireland could move closer to the European average. Half of the household comes from food waste that can be avoided. The most important insight comes from looking at what kind of food is wasted. About half of the household food which could have been eaten instead of thrown away. This includes food that spoiled before it was used, leftovers that were forgotten, and groceries that were never opened. This means much of Ireland's food waste is preventable. If households like Emma's reduced avoidable waste, the national total would decrease significantly. What happens in a single kitchen may seem small, but multiplied across the country, these everyday choices have a real impact. Reducing food waste starts with small decisions at home.